What is happening, fishing friends, and welcome to another episode. Man, it has gotten cold here in Iowa, and I'm talking like colder than a goose foot in a frozen pond. We're going to be ice fishing soon. Now, we're not ice fishing tonight. As you can see, we're in the basement, but ice fishing here, it's very popular to target a few species, one of which here in Iowa is the yellow perch. Now, I had the perch requested by a number of people on the last video, or the one before, I don't remember, but had a number of people asked to see that one, so I figured, you know what, better try some. Got a couple that I liked, and I think we're going to do one tonight. So enough of me yapping in front of this. Let's get painting. All right, over to the workstation here. Time to start on the perch pattern. Show you a couple examples of what I made here a couple nights ago. That's the first one I did. This is a transparent perch, so I didn't put an opaque like this. I didn't put an opaque white primer down. I painted just the regular blank, like this dude over here. And these are the blanks that we're going to be using for this. This actually is a perch blank, but these were just on the 2.5 square bills. So this one you can see through it when I move my hands back behind there. You can completely see through this thing. I put some kind of snake looking eyes on it. Thought that one turned out kind of cool. So for some clear water, bright sunny days where you want something that's just a little bit more finesse, I guess you could say, for a crankbait. Something looks a little bit more realistic, more see-through. Did that color there. Now I also did another one. This is an opaque, so you can see there I put that white primer down on it. This one you cannot see through. What you see is what you get on it. So with the yellow perch here in Iowa, there's a number of different ways that they look. Some of them have more of a brown look overall. Some of them have more of a kind of a yellow-green, which is what I did here. Also mixed some gold into that. The stripes kind of vary too. Some of the stripes on them are like a deep black. Some of them are real dark green. This one I just used some sepia, so kind of a brown coloration. They all kind of vary. So I think on this perch that I do tonight, on these perch blanks that I got, I'm really happy with these things. Shallow runners, only going to go down a few feet, probably, I don't know, 3-4 feet at the most with that little lip on it. Typical perch pattern there. It's got the hunchback, a little bit longer looking profile. But the cool part is, listen to this. Hear that? Snapping there, and it comes back. These cool little blanks have a weight transfer system in it there. So you can see there's a little magnet here, and there's this long kind of barrel looking magnet here. So when you cast, you flick it out, hear it snap to the other side. When you start moving it, and this bait goes. So we'll see how this does. I think this can catch us some fish. Colors. Opaque white is what I used to put the base down. Some pearl white that I got from Aztec. Now the pearl just means that it's kind of got a glittery sheen in it. So unlike this white that's just a straight flat, this has some glitter in it that really makes it shine, especially when you turn it in the sun. Really gives it a cool different look. I've also got some of that Aztec pearl gold. Again, pearl gold flake. Got some gold toner. That's going to kind of give us the yellow color in there. Some light green. Some detail moss green to do the back. And then kind of depending, I'll either do this detail sepia or a black green. But enough talking. Let's get gloved up and start. A few drops of that. Now, this is that woods and water paint that I've been using from Badger. I like it, but it's very, very thin, so you have to be careful. Otherwise, you're going to spray this all over. All right, got my pressure turned down to about 10 psi, so I'm just going to start layering this darker on the top and get it lighter as we go down. Going to cover just the bottom of that cheek. I want to leave that white. They have a little bit of white there usually, so. Whoa, don't be falling down now. Dang it. I'm going to lose my, have you? Apparently this thing's a little bit particular on how you have it situated. Keep it white as I go here. Start darker at the top. All right, I'm happy with that. There we go. Darker at the top, as you can see, as you go down. That yellow fades down into it. In fact, I'm going to do just a little bit brighter up here. Both sides there. Looking about the same, I'm happy with that. So let's clean out our airbrush. People ask, how do I clean this out? Well, I've got a little bottle here. I got some cleaner. I think this came with it, but I've just been doing half cleaner, and this is the Iwata airbrush cleaner. I do half cleaner and then half distilled water in here to make that cleaner go farther, and I haven't noticed an issue with it cleaning it out. So put that in there, squirt it a couple times hard to get that stuff, all, you know. All right, so I've got the cleaner in there. I've got an old rag here. I hold the tip of it. I've got my pressure turned up to 60. See there, quite a bit of pressure. Push that down to get the air and then slightly start pulling back, and you can hear that start bubbling up like a science experiment. But I do that to blow any sort of paint that's up in that tip. Try to blow that back. I dump that out, empty the rest of what I have in here. You can see there's a bunch of bubbles and such. So I empty that into this little cleaner here. You watch all these little bubbles disappear. Pull all that through there. Take towel, clear the little deal here. There we go, a couple cycles of that, and that baby's clean as a whistle. it's hard to tell. The camera doesn't pick it up as much, but you can see there's a darker yellow up here, then it kind of fades down into the gold. So I'm going to do that gold next. I'm not super worried if I get that gold a little bit too much on the bottom, because I can always take some white and hit just that middle line and kind of clean up that belly. Make sure it's nice and white. So let's do some of that gold now. Boy, this stuff just does not want to come off here and go away, does it? It's like that weird neighbor kid that just never leaves. He just stays for dinner and keeps staying. It's like, are your parents going to come pick you up, or what's going on here? All right, so I turn my pressure up a little bit, about 15. With these pearls, you have to have them up just a little bit higher because of that glitter in there. Sometimes they don't want to spray on the lower pressure, so I'm just going to go light pats of this on here. Same thing over here. All right, there we go. I am happy with that. Man, it's hard to show it on the camera. You can kind of see it there. Gold down toward the bottom, kind of that gold sheen through the middle, darker yellow up top, fading down into a white. I like it. Just so I can have a couple different kind of layers of color in there. Get some green in this. Whoa, glad I didn't drip that all over me. Apparently I missed a drip there. I don't want to go too dark with this. You can see they're just a little bit different of a green. I'm going to take that down the sides just a little bit. Boy, that color is hard to detect, but you can see there, green just on the shoulder, fading down into that yellowish gold, fading down into the white. All right, I like it. Enough with the green. All right, I got this baby heat set. Next, I'm going to go ahead and put my stripes on. So I'm going to do these perch stripes now. That way I can kind of fade the back into the top of these. I found when I do these, kind of after I'm done, it doesn't look as good once it's blended in. So I'm going to get these on. I'm going to use this just like so, paint each one of these, and we're going to blend the top. So I think I have been using sepia on the other two. I like the brown, but I kind of want to try something different. I think I'm going to try this black green, see how this looks. I might put a little bit of that moss and sepia on top. I don't know. I want to do this one just a little different than the other two. So let's try some of this black green for the stripes. Okay, so the hard part about these stencils is getting this thing to cooperate, stay on here while you're trying to paint each one of these. Now, I've tried doing it where I get these all lined up and do it all in one big run, but it doesn't really work that well. So I've found that painting each one individually has worked a little bit better, meaning that do it like this, go light with my color and build it up. Doink. There we go. Oh, I kind of like that color. Dark green. Oh, I like that. Black green came out looking good. Real dark green. Okay, I'm digging that. Now, just so I don't mess it up between each one of these, because I'm a perfectionist, I'm going to heat set just because I don't want to waste time with a smear. All right, so that's the process as a whole. I'm going to do that on each one. I'm going to kind of line this up. Get this next one where I want it, right about there. Build that color up on there again. Doink. Oh yeah, I like that. That one's kind of a little pointier, a little smaller. Now the cool thing is you can kind of edit these to however you want. So if I didn't like that one, I got that done and it turned out, I don't know, that's kind of pointy looking. I can always take one of these or this thing and just kind of change it up, make it look however I want. For now, I'm going to leave it. I think it looks kind of gnarly. Boom, look at that. That looks pretty darn sweet. For some dummy living in the middle of Iowa cutting his own stencils, I think it looks all right. I'm going to do the other side and we'll come back. All right, there you have it. I got both sides of this dude done. Kind of staggered those just a little bit, but I think that looks pretty perchy to me. Now, you can see I tried to line those up the best I could when I was doing my stencils, just that way so both sides look the same, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you're off a little bit on each side, fish isn't 100% uniform each way anyway. So let's go with, I'm going to empty the rest of this out, and I think I'm going to go with a little bit of this detail sepia on top to give it a little brown look, and then to cover the rest of it off, I'm going to hit it with some moss green. Just keep layering those colors to give it a cool, different look. Go with the real light layers, going even strokes here. See that starting to darken up the top of it there? A little bit of brownish to it. That first one I didn't get up enough into the middle part of it. I wanted those to go up toward the back so I could fade those in. I might have had a dummy DEBO moment here. I probably should have done those stripes a little bit lighter. I probably went too dark to start off with, but that's all right. Okay, I'm going to come over that with some detail moss green now to give it a little bit different green look. That's also going to darken up that back even more. Oh, I like that. I'm going to have to fix that. That's driving me nuts. I'm going to have to take those stripes up into the back. I'm going to take those stripes up a little bit more. That way I can put some of that dark black green just at the very middle so I don't lose that color transition from that brown to the green and to the yellowish into the goldish into the white. All right, so I've got the top of it done anyway. I'm going to a little bit more of this black green, fix that stripe and blend it right up into the top of that. Try to figure out exactly where. There it is. Boom, and like that, you can't even tell that I messed it up the first time. Ha! Just to give it a little darkness. Yes, I like that. It's hard to tell on camera. Man, the camera just does not do this justice. You can see a little bit of the brown up top, fading into that lighter green, getting down into that dark yellow right about there, getting down into a little bit of gold, and then of course the belly's all white. All right, so I'm gonna hit the bottom of this with a little bit of pearlized white. That way it just sparkles a little bit. Then again, where I kind of left those marks on the gill untouched, I'm gonna fade that in with a little bit of pearl white there. Same thing on this side. I like how that side turned out better. Fade that in a little bit, and then we'll put the orange on the bottom to signify those orange perch fins. We're done with this baby. Just add some eyes. All right, grab the pearlized white here. We're gonna hit the belly of this, give it a nice little shine, some of that kind of glittery look to it. Gosh, this stuff is super thin too. I always test it on some paper just to be sure after I clean it in between there. Just to make sure. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, and I'm gonna go with a light stripe up the middle. I don't wanna get it up on the sides, up onto my, get in focus here, Debo. I don't want to get it up on the sides onto my little perch stripes there. So I'm going to keep this low pressure. Test out a little bit there. I like it. Like I said, I'm going to fade that up into the bottom of the gill there. Yeah, see what we did there? A little bit of white there. And I'm going to darken up that eye socket too right before I put those eyes in. Belly's good and pearlized there. Nice sheen to it. You can see the bottom there. See how that shines compared to that side there? Good looking shine. I like it. Okay, got all the white cleared out. I'm going to go over to this orange to do the fins. That's a tiger orange. I really like this orange. Give it a good shake in there. Again, this stuff's pretty thin too. This is by Spectra. Who makes this? Badger? Does Badger make both these? Yeah, Badger makes both these, the Spectra and the Woods and Water. I like them. They're just really, really thin. Gotta be careful. All right, just put about 3 drops of that in there. You can't really even see it, but you'll see it here because I'm just gonna do both of these points where the hook's attached. So right here, cover that in a little orange spot, and then I'm gonna do on the tail a little orange spot. That's all we're gonna do for them. Always make sure you test that right before. Put it on the lure after you clean like that. I don't wanna get any of that cleaning solution come out in one big shot and ruin my bait. Gently pull back on it. I'm gonna hit this from a couple different angles. You can see there when you hit it just kind of straight on. See how it kind of leaves a shadow? That side looks good, but on that left side kind of leaves a shadow. So I hit it from both directions. Yeah, I like it. See how some of that kind of hits up on the gill plate there too? I love it. There we go. You can kind of see it from the side, from the bottom. I'm gonna do the same thing on the back. And again, this is all about trigger control here. This is something I really struggled with at first, wanting to just hit that air and pull straight back and you get a huge blob of paint. So pushing that air, you can see when I push it down, that's only air, so there's no paint coming out. As I start to pull it back ever so slightly, it just lets a little bit of paint on there. So you can see here, barely build that up just like that. And that's it. That's my yellow tail and back. So I've got my, or tail, fins, you know what I meant. Orange. Did I just say yellow? Orange. What in the heck? It's late. Okay, got my orange fins there, my orange fins there. That's it. This dude is done. What do you think? It looks pretty perchy. Ooh, you know what else we could do? We could add some spots. Yeah, let's add some spots. Okay, so let's add some spots to this bad boy. There's a number of different ways to do spots. I've seen some people take the tip of this off and like flick it. And I've tried doing that, but I noticed like when I flick it, instead of just getting the dots, sometimes it'll shoot out a little bit of paint too. So I'll get like kind of a splotch of a dark color there that I don't really want. Now, one thing that I've noticed from screwing up on baits is that sometimes when you take a spot like this and go with a bunch of paint and shoot it out, when you take your deal here and just push air through it, no paint, see how it shoots those spots out? That's how I've been doing my spots. It's been pretty consistent. I can control it. I know some people take and dip like a paintbrush or a toothbrush and shoot it onto the bait that way. Number of different ways to do it. I like this way. It's pretty quick. I don't know if y'all out there paint and have a different way that you think is superior. Comment below and let me know. But this is how I've been doing it. I'll just take and go shoot out some paint, and then here, boom, look at that. Just to break that up, when you look at perch, the pattern on them is not all the same. I like that right there. I like that a lot. When you look at a perch, they've kind of got those broken lines, you know, those kind of broken scales that don't, you know, look the same color where stuff's kind of mixed in. That's all I've done there is hit it with that, and I really like the way that breaks it up. It's not a, you know, 100% perfect. It's got some splotches on there. Now, I know some people don't like the splatter look. I think it looks kind of cool. You all can be the judge. Tell me if you think it looks cool, if you liked it better before where those lines were hard. That's it. I'm done with it. I'm going to add some eyes on it now, so let's go pick those out. Okay, got some eyes picked out here. I looked through my box. This is kind of a weird size. It's like a 4.5 millimeter. I've got some 5 millimeters here. Luckily, the 5 millimeter fit it. I'm going to go with this straight gold color on here. They're kind of a goldish or a darkerish gold eye color from the pictures that I was looking at. It's funny because you pay attention to pictures when you're doing stuff like this, but if somebody would have asked me, what colored eyes does a perch have, or heck, even a bass have, I'd have to be like, I don't know. Okay, so getting these eyes on here, I'm going to add just a little bit of this super glue gel. This is Loctite. I like the gel because it doesn't run all over. Give me a little gel dollop right here. Oh, you know what? I didn't darken the eyes. Do I want to darken the eyes? Nope, leaving it. Not darkening the eyes. Already got some super glue on there. All right. Got that little dot down. I'm going to take one of these eyes, use my X-Acto knife to pull one off. Hey, the eye's in. Just kidding. Okay, so I'm going to set it in there like that. Now, I notice these are 4.5, so I'm going to have to push it in just a little bit. That's a 5 millimeter eye. Got it to fit in there. Tiny dollop of glue. Put this on so it doesn't dry out. I found out that dried up super glue does not work as well as wet super glue. Beginner tip, remember to put the top on super glue. Give it the old make it fit push. There we go. All right, boom. All right, fishing friends, that does it for tonight. That is it. That is the finished up perch pattern. Comment below and let me know what you think of that bad boy. I think it turned out pretty awesome. Hopefully you all can see the difference there going from that gold to the yellow to the dark green to a light green. It's kind of hard to tell over there. I think that red mat that I have down to paint on kind of throws it off, but this thing came out looking pretty darn killer. So I'm excited to see some of you folks that fish for perch a lot. Let me know. What do you think? Does it look realistic? Does it look pretty lifelike to you? Would you throw it? Let me know. Figured I might as well give you all a closer look at the other two as well. Now, again, I still have to set up my finishing station. I have to get some ventilation going down here. I've got KBS, so what I mean by a finishing station is these have to get a clear coat on them. With KBS, you simply drop it in, pull it out, let it drip dry. But that stuff is, it stinks. It really stinks, and I don't want to completely stink up my whole basement. So got to get that going. But for now, I got these, and I'll get them finished. So tonight's subscribe fishing friend shout out goes out to my man Radioactive. Thank you very much for watching and supporting me, especially all through 2019 and still currently. I appreciate you. And of course, I appreciate everybody else. Without you all, my channel would be nowhere. I'd just be some guy sitting in a basement rambling on night after night. So thank you all for making me feel like I'm not insane. But that's going to do it for tonight. Of course, it's late. I got to get to bed. So thank you all for watching. And until next time,